do you determine the right product for your hair without becoming a product junkie? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kachi and I'm so glad you decided to click on this video. If this is your first time, thank you so much. You're welcome. You're a returning subscriber. Thank you so much. Welcome back. Today I'll be talking about choosing the right hair products, whether you are a newly returned natural or an OG naturalista. I'm definitely sure you'll find something helpful and interesting in this video, so keep on watching. Remember to subscribe and like this video. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, I just want to talk about this saturation of hair products in the market. Guys, I know it's a struggle. Like, there's a lot of products in the market. There's just different brands selling different types of hair products with different claims. It will grow your hair, it will do this, it will do that, and the market has just become so saturated. Like, it's your responsibility as a naturalista to sift out the effective products for your hair. So this video is for you if you just return natural, or you're an OG naturalista, if you're already handling your hair, or you already have access to your natural hair, not just transitioning. Because if you're transitioning, you have different textures, okay, so you won't really be able to determine your hair profile. So how do you do that? How do you determine the right product for your hair without becoming a product junkie? Sorry, I have my notes here, so in case I'm looking down. So number one is understand your hair profile. Okay, your hair profile refers to certain hair characteristics that have been categorized based on known traits and tendencies that will enable you determine how your hair will react towards external stimulus, such as changing climate, different product ingredients and techniques. Okay, what are the elements that determine your hair profile? Number one is your hair porosity. Number two is your hair density. Number three is your hair texture or your strand size. And number four is your curl pattern. Okay, so porosity, density, hair texture or strand size, and curl pattern. So out of these four elements, there are two that directly affects your product choice, okay, and that is your hair porosity and your strand size or your hair texture. Okay, so now I'm going to start with your hair porosity. There are a lot of videos on YouTube talking about hair porosity, so I'll just summarize. Your hair porosity refers to hair's ability to absorb and retain moisture. There are three different hair porosities. There's the low porosity, medium porosity, and high porosity. It's kind of a range, okay, that moves from low porosity to medium to high. Okay, so it's kind of like a pendulum movement. Okay, so it's not just static. Okay, sometimes you find out your hair is somewhere between low porosity and medium porosity. It's constantly moving depending on the products you use and the level of manipulation that your hair has to undergo at time. Okay, so that would greatly determine the type of products you use. It's very important that you choose products that match up with your hair porosity. Okay, low porosity means that your hair does not easily accept moisture, it does not easily soak in moisture, but also when the moisture gets into your hair, it's very difficult for it to leave. Okay, people with low porosity will find out that their hair will be moisturized, can be moisturized for up to 4 to 6-7 days, okay, and they don't need to re-moisturize. Whereas people with high porosity will find out that they actually have to keep re-moisturizing their hair, usually every day sometimes, okay, or at least every other day. Meanwhile, people with low porosity are sort of in the middle. Okay, they don't need to moisturize their hair every day, but also their hair does not stay well without it being dry, so they are quite in the middle. Alright, so that should determine the type of product you choose. The second one is your hair texture. Now, your hair texture or your strand size talks about the, like, when I say texture, I mean just one strand of your hair. Okay, is your hair strand thin, or is it fine, or is it coarse or thick? Okay, so you should pay attention to within different parts of your hair. How does your hair strand look? Fine hair cannot withstand thick products, and coarse or thick strands will not even notice light products. Okay, if you use water-based products or milks when your hair is coarse or thick, it won't do anything to your hair. It won't make an impact on your hair. Whereas if your hair strands are fine, no matter how dense your hair is, guys, no matter the core pattern of your hair, if your hair strands are fine and you use thick butters, and you use a thick leave-in conditioner, you use a thick butter, you add oil, your hair will become limp. It will be too heavy for your hair. Alright, so that's why it's important to know the actual texture of your hair, and you can just do this by just looking at your hair. Really, just look at the little strands of hair, okay, and compare them and see how thin or thick they are. Number 2, pay attention to product reviews, guys. With the popularity of YouTube and hair influencers and content creators, you really don't have to do trial by error. Okay, you simply just have to take note of product reviews. There are lots of product reviews here on YouTube with different blogs, and wherever you are, you can just type the name of the product you want to use, and look out for influencers with similar hair profile as you. Okay, do they have the same hair porosity? Usually they state it. Okay, like me, I've always said that my hair is low porosity and I have fine strands, okay, and medium density. All right, so you look for influencers with similar hair profile as you, and take note of the products that they review, the ones that they like. Okay, for example, with my low porosity, fine strands and medium density, I love to go for very light products. Okay, because I'm not just saying water based products, whichever hair profile you have, whether high porosity or low porosity, it's very important that you go for water-based product. That is products with their number one ingredient as water. Okay, but beyond that, when you have low porosity hair and you have fine strands, you should go for watery products. Okay, watery products. All right, that's products that are more on the liquid side, or milks. They call them milks. Very light, creamy products. They are creamy, but they have a light consistency, lighter than yogurt consistency. Those are the kind of products that I like to go for, because they give you the opportunity to layer on them without getting products build up before they chew. Alright, so by the time I wash my hair, I use those light products, and then even every other day I can moisturize my hair. Okay, I can moisturize my hair and I don't suffer build up. Understand? Even though for now I can keep my hair about 5-6 days without re-moisturizing. Okay, but even if I want to moisturize before then, I can reapply those products and I'm not scared of having build up on my hair. But if I go for thicker creams, you find out that it might be fine when you do it that first time, but then you discover that the next time you re-moisturize your hair with those same products, you begin to suffer products build up on your hair, and your styles don't just come out nice. Also, for deep conditioners, so I also like to go for light products. If I get a product that is so thick that it just doesn't make sense, I usually mix it with water, okay, to just lighten up the consistency, and that will make it easier for my hair to accept it. That's for deep conditioners. Usually my stylers, I leave my stylers to be like the thickest products I use. For example, if I'm just using a butter to seal my hair, that butter will be the thickest product I put in my hair. And even with that, I have it in mind that the next time I'm trying to moisturize my hair, most times I don't reapply that butter. I just spray my hair with water and reactivate the product that is already in the hair. Alright, so number 3, take note of product consistency. There are different brands create products differently. Okay, there are watery products, there are creamy products, there are thick creams, there are light creams, there are gels, there are mousse, and there are very thick butters, and then there are also baby oils and light oil. So take note of the consistency of the products you use and how your hair reacts to it. Just observe your hair. How does it react to thick butters? How does your hair react to thick leave-in conditioners, to thick creams? Take note of how your hair reacts. Okay, if you notice that your hair becomes limp after you use a thick cream, then go for something light. Alright, try light creams. If you already understand your hair profile, whether you are low porosity, fine strands, you already have an idea of the kind of consistency of products to look for. Alright, for example, I go with very light products for my leave-in and everything. For my leave-in, I go with very light consistency, and then also this LOC method, I only do like LC or LO or LB. You don't have to go through LOC, liquid cream butter, or liquid cream oil. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do the most. Okay, if your hair is low porosity and your strands are fine, do the minimum. Alright, do the minimum. Liquid cream, okay, liquid rice cream or liquid butter. Alright, anything that will just leave your hair still light and fluffy. If your hair is more on the coarse side or really dense and just high porosity and can just swallow up products, fine, go with heavier products. You can layer them as much as you can in order to retain that moisture. However, if you have high porosity, you are very free to layer thick products. If you have high porosity hair and coarse hair strands, okay, that's thick coarse hair strands, definitely, like I said before, if you use light watery products, your hair won't even know that you did anything. Like they are just joking, but your hair will love thick products, thick conditioners, thick creams, thick butters, and it will be very easy for your hair to, because your hair is high porosity, your hair easily just swallows the moisture, just accepts it, and because they are thick, it will take a longer time for them to evaporate or dry out of your hair. Okay, and you can also experiment with layering them too, depending on how frequently or how fast your hair gets dry. You can keep layer them, and usually people with high porosity don't suffer build up as much as those with low porosity, except you just keep piling products on your hair and don't wash it out for like 2 weeks. Even if you have porosity, you will have build up. Okay, but however, low porosity people they frequently suffer build up, so it's advisable that you go with very light products. Okay, now medium porosity, medium density, medium strand size, you can just freestyle. Okay, see what works really. Try light products, try thicker products, mix them together. Maybe if you use a light leave-in, use a thicker cream, you use an oil, stuff like that. Experiment with it. Okay, and also you should know that most times you might have different textures on your hair. Yes, different textures on your hair, also different porosity on your head. Okay, for example, I noticed that the crown of my hair, my strands are very thin, and then I have like medium strands just generally, and then the front of my hair is really fine strands, but usually I just treat my hair like fine strands throughout. So I'll advise you to just use the majority texture you can find on your hair. Take note of your product ingredients and change in climate. Alright, as in normally when you're natural, you should make sure that the products that you use, at least the first 3 ingredients, is water. Alright, because water is the most important thing your hair desires. Alright, so just make sure it's water, but also going beyond that, also check for ingredients such as glycerin, sulfate, things like that. And depending on the climate you are in, if it's winter time or harmattan or just dry weather, you want to avoid using products with ingredients such as glycerin, because glycerin is a humectant and it just attracts moisture from the atmosphere into your hair. That's when the atmosphere is humid. Alright, when the atmosphere is humid, it attracts the moisture to your hair. So it's very good to use in the summertime or when the weather is just hot and humid. Alright, but when it's winter time or harmattan, you don't want to use products with glycerin because it will attract the moisture from your hair into the atmosphere, and you don't want that. Your hair will be drier than you even started with. Okay, so if you are in very dry and cold places, you want to avoid products with glycerin in them. Also, you will also probably want to avoid products with sulfate, because sulfate dries out the hair, especially in your shampoos. You want to go for moisturizing shampoos that will clean your hair but not completely strip it, unless you are already experiencing build-up and you really need to just strip everything from your hair and you start from scratch. Alright, so yeah, and you probably should be using a deep cleansing shampoo like every 2 months or so, just to reboot your hair, so to speak. Alright, so but just take note of the change in weather and the products you are using. And it's not as if you should just discard those products. You don't have to discard them. You just have to wait until the weather changes again and then you can use them. Alright, or you change the way you use them. Alright, yeah, I've had some people say that they notice that the products stop working on their hair. I don't believe the products will stop working on your hair. Do you understand? Yes, the effect of the products might be reduced, but that will be because you are probably experiencing build-up. Okay, if you have products build up on your hair, the constant layer of products has blocked your hair from your hair cuticles from receiving that moisture. So you have to strip it. You have to reboot your hair. You have to really cleanse your hair. Use an actual shampoo to strip your hair of that build-up and you put it, and you discover that the product that you thought was no longer working is working just fine. Alright, yeah, I hope with these few points you've been able to understand how to choose products effective for your natural hair. Alright, so guys, that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you have been able to learn something. Thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with me. I hope you like this video. Subscribe please and share. Comment below also, how do you choose your products? If you are an OGee natural, how do you determine the right products to use per time? Somebody is learning in the comment section. I would also like to learn, anything that I've not mentioned, please feel free to mention it in the comment section. Please like this video, please subscribe and press the bell notification so that you'll be notified anytime I upload a video. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.